Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty universal, memory, how to make it better.
Hmm.
It really feels like, forgetting keys, blanking on names, it happens more often, doesn't it? And not just when you're older.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And to really unpack this, we looked at a YouTube video from LEP Learn English podcast.
Ah, yes, the one called How to Improve Your Memory, CC, a podcast and chill beginner.
That's the one.
So our mission here is to, you know, dig into that source, pull out the real actionable stuff, understand what's really going on with memory.
Basically give you a shortcut to hopefully a sharper memory.
Exactly. Okay, so why do we get these memory glitches? Is it just, well, getting older?
Well, age is, it's a factor,
Hmm.
but definitely not the only one.
Okay.
What's really key, based on the source, is our daily life, our habits, things like stress, definitely lack of sleep, and, yeah, diet too.
That's actually kind of good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Means it's not just inevitable. I was really struck by that study they mentioned, the National Institute on Aging one, saying even people in their 20s and 30s report more memory lapses.
It really stands out, yeah. It shows it's much broader than just age.
So what's driving it in younger people then?
Often, as the source suggests, it circles back to those same lifestyle things, like take sleep.
Oh, okay.
If you're not getting good quality sleep consistently, well, your brain just doesn't lock in information properly. It struggles.
To sort of file things away.
Exactly. That processing, that storing of memories, a lot of that happens while we sleep. It's crucial time.
Yeah, no, that rings true. I mean, I feel the difference after a rough night. Totally foggy. What about food then? Does what we eat actually make a noticeable difference? Seems almost too simple.
Oh, it's fundamental, maybe more than we think. The source talks about needing specific nutrients for your brain to function at its best, memory included, of course.
Like what kind of nutrient?
Well, they highlight things like omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, certain vitamins. Think of them as like brain fuel and protection.
Oh, okay.
Omega-3s, for instance, they're really important for your brain cells, how they communicate.
So eating more nuts, berries, fatty fish, like salmon, that could actually...
The source certainly suggests so, yeah. These foods give your brain those key building blocks.
Interesting.
But, and this is important, the source also makes it clear diet's just one part of it. Physical activity is another big piece.
Ah, exercise. Right, I remember that being mentioned. How does, going for a walk help my memory?
It's mainly about blood flow. Regular exercise gets more blood pumping to your brain,
Okay.
and that means more oxygen, more nutrients,
Mm-hmm.
which, helps all your cognitive functions work better. Memory formation, recall, all of it.
So we don't need to run marathons.
Not at all. The
Right.
source mentioned things like walking, jogging, even yoga. Just getting moving regularly makes a difference.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So fuel the brain, rest the brain, move the body. Makes sense. What about all those brain training apps and games? Are they the secret weapon?
Well, they can be useful, definitely. But the source is pretty clear. They work best as part of that bigger picture.
Not a replacement for sleep or good food.
Exactly. Think of them as, like, extra mental workouts, puzzles, chess, memory apps. They help keep you sharp. But you really see the benefit when you combine them with the healthy lifestyle basics. They're complementary, not a magic fix on their own.
Right, so it always comes back to the whole package. Okay, quick summary then. Age is one thing, but stress, sleep, diet, and exercise are huge factors for our memory.
That's it in a nutshell. And just understanding that, just knowing those are the levers we can pull, that's the first big step.
Okay, now the source also brought up some specific vocabulary, useful words for this whole topic.
Yeah, let's touch on those.
First one, habit, defined as, something regular, almost automatic, like brushing your teeth. How does habit fit in?
Well, the idea is to make memory-boosting actions into habits. So maybe making a point to review something new you learned,
Yeah.
doing that consistently until it just becomes second nature. That's how you really strengthen recall over time, building good memory habits.
Okay, that clicks. Next was game, an activity for fun or learning, usually with rules, like those memory games we just talked about.
Yeah, and the game aspect is important because it makes brain exercise more engaging, less of a chore, right?
Makes it fun.
Exactly. If it's fun, you're more likely to stick with it. So games can be a great way to practice recall or cognitive skills without it feeling like, well, hard work.
Good point. Then rest, a period of relaxing, not being active, taking a break to refocus. We know sleep is vital. But what about these smaller rests?
Even short breaks during the day, they can be really effective. Just letting your brain pause, step away from the input for a bit.
Like hitting refresh.
Kind of, yeah. It helps prevent that mental fatigue, clears the decks a little so you can actually focus better and absorb more when you go back to it. Helps with encoding things properly.
Okay. And organize.
Mm.
Arranging things neatly, structured. Like organizing notes. How crucial is that?
Oh, hugely important. Think about finding a file on a messy desktop versus a well-organized one.
Right. Nightmare versus easy.
Exactly. When information is structured, whether it's notes or even just your thoughts, your brain can find it and retrieve it way more easily. It's about creating a clear pathway.
Makes total sense. And the last one was focus. Giving full attention. Like really concentrating when you learn something. Seems obvious, maybe.
It does seem obvious, but gosh, in today's world, with all the distractions,
Yeah, it's hard.
it's incredibly hard, but also incredibly important. If you're only half paying attention when you first encounter information, it's just not going to stick properly. Good memory starts with good focus, good encoding.
Mm-hmm. Now, the source kind of tied these words back to healthy food and sleep again, didn't it?
Yeah, it brought it all together. Basically, healthy food gives your brain the raw materials, the energy to do all these things well.
To build habits, play games, focus.
Right. And sleep is when the brain does its major housekeeping and consolidation work. It needs that downtime to process everything you focused on, everything you organized, everything you learned through practice or games.
So they all support each other. It's a system.
It really is. You can't really optimize one without paying attention to the others.
Okay, so let's get really practical. The source offered some simple methods, actual techniques to use. First one mentioned was mind mapping.
Ah, yes. Mind mapping is a great visual tool. You start with a central topic, then draw branches out for related ideas, keywords, connections.
Like a spider diagram.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you see the structure of information visually, which can really aid recall for a lot of people. It taps into how our brains like to see connections and spatial relationships.
Cool. I can see how that would work. What else? Oh, consistent practice and review. Sounds like school.
Huh. Well, there's a reason teachers make you review things. It
Right.
works.
Right.
Regularly going back over information strengthens those neural pathways. It makes the memory stronger, easier to access later. Like the source said, it's like building a habit for that specific piece of information. Active recall is key.
Okay, so repetition with purpose, not just staring at it.
Exactly. And related to that, the source also stressed giving your brain breaks. Don't just cram constantly.
Yeah, that feeling of your brain just being full.
Right. Pushing too hard without a pause can actually make things worse. Short breaks let your brain sort of catch up, consolidate a bit. It prevents overload and actually helps you retain more in the long run.
Like letting the mental muscle rest. Okay. Another tip was staying organized. We talked about the concept, but any specific suggestions from the source?
Yeah, they mentioned practical things. Using a planner for appointments and tasks. Making to-do lists.
Ah, my lifeline.
Yeah. Basically reducing the mental clutter. If your environment and your tasks are organized, your mind has less random stuff to keep track of, freeing it up for remembering the important things.
Okay, declutter your space, declutter your mind. Got it. And the last one was maybe a bit surprising. Social interaction. How does chatting with friends help my memory?
It might seem indirect,
Yeah.
but being social is actually a great brain workout.
Really?
Yeah, conversations, discussing ideas, sharing stories, even listening to different viewpoints. It all stimulates different parts of your brain. It keeps your mind active, engaged.
Huh. Never really thought of it that way.
It helps maintain overall cognitive function, which supports memory too. It's about staying connected, mentally active through others.
So being social isn't just fun, it's good for the brain cells. Okay, let's quickly recap those simple tips then. Eat well, get moving, stay organized.
Be social, try mind mapping, practice and review, take breaks.
That's a really solid toolkit.
It covers a lot of ground, yeah. And the source circled back one last time to some key vocabulary just to reinforce things.
All right, let's run through those quickly. Relax, calming the mind, essential for the brain.
Social interacting with others for cognitive benefit.
Routine, regular habits help with organization and memory.
Planner, a practical tool for organization.
And the big one, healthy lifestyle. The foundation, right? Food, exercise, sleep.
Exactly. Those words really capture the essence of it all.
So bringing this whole deep dive together, memory isn't just fixed. It's not just about age.
Not at all.
Our everyday choices, our lifestyle, they matter a lot. And the good news is we can actually do things about it. Simple, consistent things.
That's the core message, I think. It's about being intentional, building those brain-friendly habits. It's empowering, really.
It is. Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Thinking about everything we've discussed, what if you picked just one thing, just one technique, one small change, and really committed to it consistently?
Mm.
How might that single change start a positive ripple effect, improving how you learn, how you remember going forward? What's the one small step that feels, doable and potentially impactful for you to explore? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.